As an artist, you are tricking people's brains into seeing things that aren't there. It's an illusion. Artists have learned that there are certain things you can do to make sure your illusion works and that people find it enjoyable to look at. We call these things the rules of composition. I'm going to quickly cover a few rules of composition that apply to landscapes and that will help you create beautiful illusions that people will love. First, you want to keep people's eyes inside your painting for as long as possible. And we do that with framing and with vignettes. Framing means creating artificial edges around the outside of your painting to keep viewers' eyes in the center. The most obvious kind of frames are having trees right at the left and right edge. You'll often notice the bottom corners of landscapes are blocked by little diagonal pieces of land. Now, you don't have to have frames on every edge, but having at least one or two can help your composition. Vignettes were common in old-fashioned movies. It's where the edge of the screen is darker than the center. And if you look, you'll notice a lot of landscapes do this too. They'll have dark edges and the center will be lighter. This just keeps the viewer looking more at the center and less likely to look off the edge. And you absolutely can use both of these, where you have darker colors around the outside and also framing elements. The second thing you want to do is to create the illusion of depth in your landscapes, and there's 3 different ways to do that. Atmospheric perspective is the first one, and that's the rule that the further away things are, the more sky color they have. Got a gray sky, things get more gray as you go into the distance. The black trees in this image look closer to us than the gray ones because the sky is gray. The next way you can create depth, and this one tends to be overlooked a lot, is overlapping. Have things in front of other things. Not only does it create depth, but it looks more natural. Try to get used to thinking of your landscapes in terms of layers. Here you've got the sky, the simple mountains in the back, the complex mountains, the tree lines in front of them, the water, bushes, and then the trees that are in front of those. You've got at least 7 different layers here, and it all combines to create depth. When you're making rocks or a row of mountains or tree branches, always try to think of having some things in front and other things behind. One thing about overlapping, it's great to overlap distant mountains, but try to avoid doing it over top of the points. That tends to look bad. Another thing you can do to create depth is use scale. The closer things are to the horizon, the further away they are. So you want to make them smaller and thinner. And with less detail too. You don't tend to see texture far away. Okay, so that's a very quick summary of some of the rules of composition. And there's nothing wrong with using an existing composition. You can always copy the layers of a landscape and just change what kind of things are on those layers. Most artists use references, so you should definitely base your composition on an existing painting until you've done 2 or 3 of your own.